A few weeks ago, I was looking at some old photos with my kids. And as you can imagine, there were some interesting ones. Some were cute, some were nostalgic, and a few were downright ridiculous. They were in the what was I thinking category for hair, makeup, outfit, pose, or just because. We all had a good laugh and vowed to make better choices, but it did make me realize something so important about life. There are always going to be moments that could end in regret and shame and blame. They're the mistakes that happen. Those what was I thinking moments that can, if you allow them, derail the present and impact the future negatively. So, when you look back at old beliefs and actions, instead of taking it all so seriously and critically, allow yourself to laugh. Welcome, everyone. It's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, here with you on Angel Heart Radio. And when we come back, I'm going to share with you why you should be more lighthearted and how you can actually become more joyous and less critical.
Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools for transformation, positivity, joy, and hope. They should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice. Welcome to Angel Heart Radio, where we celebrate you. We celebrate your divine connection. We celebrate your magnificence. We celebrate you as a beautiful being here on planet Earth, sharing your love and your light. We are so blessed to have amazing hosts here on Angel Heart Radio. We fan your seeds of hope and we help you to plant more. AngelHeartRadio.com is our station and AngelLight777.com is our big sister. All the links, the series, host information, how to visit us, and really how to receive the best from Angel Heart Radio, and a whole lot more besides. Thank you for choosing to be with us on Angel Heart Radio. We're so grateful to share with you. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is brought to you by AngelLight777.com.
So, if you've been in a physical body for more than a day, you have probably had an opportunity to experience what was I thinking moment. And if you've been on this planet over the last couple of months, really the last couple of years, the energy has been intense and it's coming to us in a way so that we are really being guided to look at anything that is holding us in a position that is not for our highest good. Any belief that we're holding, any activity that we're participating in, any conversation that we're having that is not for the highest good is being shown to us not for punishment, but so that we can correct it. And that's when it gets really, really easy to become self-critical. So today, that's what we're going to focus on. If you feel as though you need somebody to help you through the jungle, I want you to call. The number is 347-202-2032. If you feel like all you can see are trees and they are trees of negativity about ways in which you have dealt with a situation or the way you're feeling about yourself, reach out today, give me a call, and let's take a look at what's really going on. So if you're calling from outside the U.S., add a 1-347-202-2032. And let's just get really honest about criticism and what it can and cannot do for you. It is absolutely time to lighten up. We have lived in a society for so many years. Those of us who are not just new on the earth have certainly experienced the realm, the life of criticism. Either you were being criticized by someone else or you were criticizing yourself. And we were told things like, well, you really need to pay attention to what you're doing wrong. And the teacher would get out the big red pencil and X all over your paper. We always were told, look at what you're doing wrong. How are you going to correct it if you don't know what you're doing wrong? And I lived by that axiom for most of my life. And then the most fabulous thing that could have ever happened to me and that I am now sharing with all of you is when Mother God came to me and changed everything. I was sitting down for a daily meditation, which often it becomes a channeling session. And I was just in one of those places where I just couldn't seem to get it right. I was really feeling kind of lost. And so I sat down, said, okay, Mother, tell me everything I'm doing wrong. And that's her response. Silence. There was nothing coming back. I could hear nothing, feel nothing. So my mature response was to immediately go into panic because I have worked with Mother God energies and with the energies of the energetic realm for so long now that it's second nature to function with them. So immediately I thought, I've done something that is so awful that now they don't even talk with me. Mother won't even acknowledge me. And immediately forward hit the panic button. We might as well go full steam ahead. I start projecting into the future. What am I going to do? If Mother won't talk to me, how am I going to live my life? I am completely dependent on their incredible guidance. I don't even remember how to do this without them guiding me and leading me and flowing with them. What have I done? Why won't they answer? Well, once I got through my little panic session and decided to be quiet and listen, Mother started laughing. And she said, that's it. That's what you're doing wrong. You are putting all of your time and all of your attention onto what you're doing that is wrong instead of celebrating everything you're doing that's right. And as you know, as a student of law of attraction, the only thing you can receive in return is what you're putting out. So there I was concentrating on correcting everything I got wrong and calling to me more that was wrong. Criticism is negative. There is nothing uplifting about criticism. There is a way that you can share a correction that is loving and kind, and it will not be seen as criticism. But criticism by its very nature is to make a correction, to change something that you perceive is not being done correctly. So let's just step out of the criticism category. You can reframe your thoughts. You can say, oh man, I need a do-over. I completely screwed that up. But please, no more, oh, I'm such an idiot. What was I thinking? Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. Please, you are not. You are a beautiful, blessed being. And that will become your reality when you learn to reframe your relationship with yourself and others from "you're stupid" to "wow, you're magnificent. Let's see if we can make that even more powerful for you." Criticism is a negative, lower vibrational mindset that is leading you away from and not toward your desired goal. So if you are seeking to get to the other corner and you're walking backward, you're going to get there as quickly as never. That's what you're doing when you're criticizing yourself. You're saying, "Oh my gosh, I need to walk to the end of the block." And then you begin walking backwards. So you're walking away from your goal. And then you're saying, "Gee, I must be terrible at walking. I don't seem to be getting any closer to my goal." That's all that criticism is capable of doing for you. Criticism takes you away. It puts you in a place where there is greater distance between you and divine interaction and divine help. I want you snuggled up next to the divine with a heart connection that is open and flowing. That means you're going to need to stay in the high place of love, joy, and peace. You're not going to be able to criticize yourself or others and be successful at holding a heart connection with God. So, that means that you're going to have to take a serious look at your beliefs, your actions, your thoughts, your peers, your partner, all of your relationships. Take a look and say, who in this mix is bringing me joy, is benefiting me, is helping me move forward? But I want you to do it without judgment. Don't get into any finger pointing. "Well, if it wasn't for Steve, I would be in a wonderful position." Nope. Steve had nothing to do with it. If you were willing to stay in a high vibration of love, joy, and peace, Steve could do anything he felt like, and it would not affect your life at all. Please stop looking for others to be the reason that you're not succeeding, and go within and look at what you can change. You can change you. You can improve you. You can hold a fabulously powerful mindset that is positive. But there is no way that you're going to change what Steve is thinking unless Steve agrees to it. So take your eyes off him, put them on you, but look at all of your relationships and evaluate them to see, am I conducting this relationship from a place that is positive, or am I using it as an excuse to be small or irresponsible? Or is this relationship just sucking the life out of me because I haven't been good about establishing boundaries? You need to really be honest. But when you're making this evaluation, you want to make sure that you allow everything to just be. Let it be neutral. Then, from your place of neutrality, so that you're not on fire with anger or foolish by assigning qualities that are not in a situation, just neutral. Take yourself out of the judge and jury position. Just be. Now, connect with the divine through your heart. You're not going to be able to do this through your mind. It has to be through the healed, cleared and healed heart space. Your mind is going to come up with all sorts of things. The ego would like to tell you, watch out, you're not going to get your fair share, or you're not good enough, you can't compete with these people, or they don't like you, or some sort of silly. Leave the ego at the door. Thank you very much. You don't need to come in. I don't need your help. I'm asking for divine guidance. Ask for the highest good for all. God is incredibly fair. There is more than enough for everyone. So when you ask for the highest good of all, you make sure the only thing that is coming to you is something valuable, worthy, and wonderful. You're not getting back jealousy. You're not getting back revenge. You're not getting anything you don't want to receive. You're getting angelic and divine assistance. So while you're in this place of neutrality, you may see a couple of things pop up. It may look like sharp objects. It may feel kind of like, ouch, why did I think it was a good idea to interact with that person in that way, or interact in that situation? Here's where you want the angels to help you. When we stop believing that we've got all the answers, we can receive wonderful help and beautiful blessings. So simply relax and ask for that help. Angels, please come forward and help me understand this situation. And you may even envision that they take their wing. If you see the angels as having wings, and I find it to be an incredibly helpful visualization, just that giant wing sweeps away all of the negativity that you may be looking at in this moment when you're in your space of neutral. Just allow it to be swept away. Just allow it to be filled now with the unconditional loving energy that can only come from the divine. That's who you are at your center. Everyone has that Christed energy of unconditional love. It is the energy of creation. It's impossible for you to be here without that energy at your core. However, because we have free will, we can get a whole lot of stuff standing between us and that energy. And it can feel very confusing and very overwhelming. So just clean sweep with the feathers. Sweep out that energy of negativity and allow that beautiful energy of unconditional love to fill the space in you that had been clouded by negativity. It's so important that you come at this little exercise from the space of neutrality, because if you react, you're creating an emotional tie to whatever it is that you're reacting to. So let me give you an example. Let's say I'm friends with Mary, and Mary is a, and please excuse me if your name is Mary. I don't know someone named Mary at this time, so this is not a real life situation. But Mary is deeply entrenched in self-pity and in being a victim, which means that when Mary is around me, she is trying to siphon off any positive energy that I am allowing to leave my energetic field, because she's unable, from that place of self-pity and victimhood, to generate any positive energy of her own. And if I haven't shielded and really cleared and healed myself and lifted myself up into the high vibration, I can give Mary a picnic of positive energy and feel extremely drained after interacting with her for any period of time. Well, if I'm blaming Mary for having a bad attitude, then I've become entrenched in this situation. Now I'm in a push me pull you with Mary. Mary, how dare you have that self-pity and victim attitude and come around me and take away all of my joy. Well, suddenly I'm emotionally tied to Mary. I have reactivated this situation. I'm not neutral at all. I'm blaming the heck out of Mary, and I refuse to take any responsibility myself. So, in that place and from that space, transformation isn't possible. I am firmly attached to my anger toward Mary about coming to me as a victim and wanting to take from me my positive vibration. So the first thing that I would have to do is get back into a place of neutrality. I need to view that situation with Mary with unconditional love. And because Mary's not standing in front of me, I need to get back in the present moment and adjust what I'm seeing and thinking. So I may be seeing, hey, in the past, I've allowed Mary to really stay stuck in her victimhood, and I've allowed myself to get dragged into that self-pity place with her. Now, I've got a couple of choices of how I can handle this in the future. But right now, the best thing that I can do is call in Archangel Michael and ask him to cut the cords. You may have heard them called Aka cords. Cut these negative ties that are binding me to Mary. I don't want a negative relationship with Mary. And while I'm actively in this situation, I can't get a clear understanding of whether Mary and I should continue with a relationship. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut the ties, go neutral, and then sweep out the area with unconditional love. And then ask myself, what is for the highest good? Well, in order to find that answer, I need to connect with the divine. I've got to step out of blame and shame, self-criticism, and any kind of negativity, which is just fear hiding under different names. Because when we allow ourselves to stay in that low vibration of fear, it's as though we're drinking poison and pretending that it's not going to kill us. Remember, it's your choice. You do not have to invite Mary into your energetic field. It's your choice who gets to come in and visit with you. If Mary is choosing to stay in a very low place, there's a little something that I have come up with my angels' help, because you know they're always helping, that has helped me stop wanting to interfere and allow people to operate with free will, while still enabling the highest good for all to come forth. So if I find that I've entrenched myself in a situation where I really don't belong, first of all, if I am imposing my will on someone else, if I'm saying to somebody, oh, I know better, or let me help you with that, when they haven't asked for my help, I am overstepping my bounds. So this is what I've started doing. I imagine that there is a conveyor belt that is just taking everyone up to heaven, up to this beautiful place of love, joy, and peace, where the most wonderful gift I could ever give anyone is waiting for them at the top of this conveyor belt or escalator, whatever you want to call it. And whenever I feel that I may be reviewing a situation and getting into judgment about it, I simply place the people, even if it's myself, I place them on this escalator or this conveyor belt and I send them off to heaven. And I say, thank you, angels, for bringing forth the highest good for all. I see that I have gotten really attached in a negative way to this situation. Then I bring in Archangel Michael, cut those aqua cords. I do not want to hang on to or be involved with negativity when I can choose love, joy, and peace. It's a beautiful life when you are actively choosing instead of passively receiving. I used to believe that things just happened, that I had no control over my life, and I was an extremely unhappy person. I had wonderful, beautiful moments in my life, but overall, I was deeply unhappy and terribly sad, as I thought I was a victim, that bad things just happened to me and other people that I loved, and I could do nothing about them. I am so grateful to know that that's not true. When I first started this journey, I came at myself with an incredible amount of self-criticism. I couldn't believe that I had allowed myself to live in that place. But as I grew, I began to understand that criticizing myself was only going to put more obstacles in my way. So I want you to move forward with that in mind. Whatever you knew yesterday is never going to be as advanced as today's information. So go easy on your past mistakes. Please don't be judge and jury. If it's been brought to your mind, it's been brought forward so you can clear it, not so that you will obsess over it. Remember, you are a brilliant and beautiful creator. Yes, you created the dark just like you're creating the light. And yes, we all have shadow work to do. Some people it's become very popular to call it shadow work. You can call it going into the dark. I call it clearing your heart. We all have aspects of ourselves that are not fabulous, but they can become so when you become aware of them and you take action to love them into your new understanding. Remember, it doesn't matter what you're calling it. So if shadow work feels good to you, if that's what feels like, yeah, I can really resonate with you, then call it that. But that process will always have the same goal: to bring you into love, joy, and peace, to bring that which you're viewing as less than what you could be, and pull it into that high place of love, joy, and peace so that more and more and more of you is shining with love. It's safe to pull out the hidden, deep, dark secret in the sacred space of unconditional love. This is what we do when we do heart work. We pull it out. We take a look at it. We understand what created it, why it was necessary, how it thought it was keeping us safe. And then the angels help us to lovingly wash it away. You can do it any way you want to do it. Everyone has the ability to clear and heal. But as always, if you want my help, I am honored to offer that to you. And to see if we're a good match, I offer a 30-minute consultation. Go to my website, Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer. .com, Marcia spelled M-A-R-C-I-A or mmhearthealer.com. You can schedule your 30-minute consultation completely free of charge. It's your Angel Heart Healing Breakthrough Session. You can schedule under the coaching page. And also, while you're there, join my mailing list. I am going to send you inspirational information throughout the week. Not every day, but often throughout the week. I want to uplift you. I want to share with you something that I may have learned that really spoke to my heart. And if you feel that one-on-one counseling is just too much of a financial obligation to you, I understand. But remember, we get out what we put in. So, yes, it's a big investment, but you're worth it. However, if you feel that you can get the same information in a group setting, then join my community on Patreon. That is also on the website. And there are different tiers, different levels of participation, and there is something for everyone. Or if you just want to make a donation to continue these podcasts and all of this work that I do that is sharing with you at no charge, please do so. It is so appreciated. I love heart work. I love sharing it. And I want absolutely everyone who's interested to have an opportunity to have the experience of heart work. So go on my blog. You can access that through my website or on my YouTube channel, Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, and you will get these weekly classes and other information at absolutely no charge. It's just going to cost you your time, and you're going to have to do the work of digging through the topics and see what's best for you. But you can do it. But I want to talk to you today about this, what was I thinking, this self-criticism. And also, let's take a look at a way that you can honor yourself. Can we be a little less quick to share our shame on Facebook? If you feel that you need to share something that is less than loving, I would rather that you do it in a community, like our community on Healing Hearts, which is a Facebook group, a loving community, or in the Patreon community where I can reply to you with a guided comment that will help you, or I can direct you to other material that I've placed in the community that will help you address that particular issue. But when you put your dark moment, and we all have them, when you put your dark moment out for public consumption, other people that may not be heart-centered or as advanced as you are, or perhaps not even awake, can see that and can really tear you apart. So I want you to ask yourself before you do that, is this really the best place for me to share this information? Ask the angels. Ask for guidance. Love yourself so much that you honor yourself. It's not funny that you fell in a ditch, that you had a bad time. It's sad that you're hurting. But it's really also incredibly wonderful because now you have the motivation to do something to help yourself out of this ditch, out of this place of sadness. So you take a moment and you acknowledge, hey, I'm hurting. I need to reach out and get some help because I don't seem to be able to solve this on my own. Ask the angels. Reach out for a consultation with me. But reach out to someone that you respect and who will hold you in the place of unconditional love. And then honor yourself enough to look at what were you thinking when you agreed to participate in this way? What is it that was motivating you to act or think or say the thing that you now feel have some regret over? We need to remember that anything that we're bringing out from the dark, from the hidden place, is not hidden from anyone, any being in the energetic realm. You're not going to shame yourself in front of God, the angels, or any of the ascended masters. They're just waiting for you to get to the place where you can acknowledge it so they can help you move through it. But anytime you're in a prayer situation or a situation where meditative or channeled situation and you start hearing things that are critical or condemning, you need to immediately stop and clear, take a deep breath, perhaps get up and walk around, drink some water, eat something, do something to replenish you, because you have not connected with your higher self, with the divine or any energetic being of love in that spiritual realm. They will never come at you with criticism. They will come at you with proactive information that you can use to make yourself better. So please, let's not throw open the doors to your secret sanctum in front of the public without expecting that there's a possibility that you're going to receive criticism. Not everyone on the earth today is awake or loving. So know that going in. However, when you go to the angels, when you go to the divine, you will receive only loving guidance in return. But I want you to love and respect yourself enough so that you are willing to do your healing work in private, either by yourself, with the assistance of the energetic realm, or with a trusted practitioner. I don't want you to be fooled. Sometimes we dangle bits of ourselves that are unlovable for sympathy. If you find yourself doing that, saying, "Oh, look at me, I had this terrible thing happen." If you're coming from a place of self-pity, you're really not doing shadow work. You're not looking to clear and heal that. You're looking for someone to sympathize with you. And that's hiding and pretending. You cannot grow from that place of self-pity. You just will attract to yourself more reasons why you should be filled with self-pity. I was in that place for a really long time, and I guarantee you, it is not a place of growth. When we use excuses and pretend to do the work of enlightenment, we are not opening a door. Instead, we're driving ourselves deeper into the problem, away from freedom, and more deeply into negativity. It may even feel good in the moment, so be careful. There can be wolves in sheep's clothing, and if you're out there, oh, poor me, take a look at what you're really doing. Aren't you a wolf in sheep's clothing to yourself? Aren't you preventing yourself the opportunity to heal? Sure, you got a few moments of sympathy, but did you really clear and heal that situation? Or did you just allow that behavior that's not serving you to have another day in your life? You got that feel-good moment, but it's in exchange for a long-term problem. When you're willing to pull things out of the dark corners and you refuse to attach blame and shame, hallelujah to you. You are promoting further growth. Now you can say to yourself, look how far I've come. A long time ago, my guide said to me, okay, you can use the past for two things and two things only. The first one, if you have climbed out of a hole and you're at least on level ground, I want you to look back and say, wow, look at me, look how far I've come. And if perhaps you are at the top of the mountain and you've tumbled down to the bottom, well, you can look around and say, okay, you know what? If I did it once, I can do it again. There is nothing else that the past can offer you. It cannot offer you a better life. It cannot offer you a wonderful today. It can share some, wow, look at me, I can do it, as long as you stay in this present moment. But you cannot repeat the past. You can't have a do-over. It's already done, and nothing you do in this present moment is going to change what happened then. You can change what's happening now. When you're present, when you are pulling out those things that are dark, and you are willing to say to the angels, help me heal this, you open yourself up so that you're able to recognize your strengths and step into your purpose. You are not going to be able to see how brilliant and magnificent you are as long as you're locked in that place of self-pity and victim. That poor me place doesn't point out your strengths. And when love hits the darkness has to go. Darkness has no power of its own. We don't create dark. Light is all there is. There's light, and there's the absence of light, which we can also call darkness. Love, which is the most luminous light possible, when love hits darkness, darkness has nowhere to hide. It simply is gone. When you allow that love to hit the darkness that you've created, you begin to see the darkness for what it is. Instead of powerful, you'll see that perhaps you were confused, or you just misunderstood something, or you were afraid, or apprehensive. Darkness is incapable of sharing light, and light cannot share darkness. They can't coexist. One must cease for the other to exist. So when you allow yourself to step out of the darkness, you are stepping into the beautiful luminescence of love. And when you look back, the only thing you need to do is shine your light of love and compassion on the being that was you. Well, I want you to just say from the bottom of your heart, thank you so much for enduring this space of pain. I didn't know any better, but I know better now, and I'm so grateful for you, to you, self, for not giving up. Thank yourself for being willing to endure the pain so that you could get to this place of learning and growing. And then I want you to go even further and give yourself permission to grow more easily, to be more flexible, and allow yourself to flow and just to breathe instead of being so rigid and trying to hold yourself to standards that are so incredibly impossible. Just flow with what is. You might make a mistake. Oh well, it's likely that anytime you're stepping into new awareness, new truth, that very likely that you're going to make a mistake the first time, maybe even the first couple of times. Well, you are learning. It's okay. Just go with it. Flow with it. Offer yourself acceptance instead of criticism. And congratulate yourself for being brave enough to look inside the darkened room filled with fears that didn't seem very foolish when you were creating them. When you were creating that dark place, you sincerely believed that you had no choice, that you were weak, or that you had every right to that fear. So please, when you look back with new truth, with new information from a high place of love, joy, and peace, go with love in your heart and share love to that self that had to endure out of ignorance. Let's pretend for a minute that I have an irrational fear of spiders. I don't know why I have this fear. It's just ever since I can remember, I have this incredible fear of spiders. Now let's fast forward, and someone has helped me overcome that fear. They've introduced spiders to me very gently, and I realized, gosh, that was kind of foolish to be afraid of spiders. They're not doing anything to me. Well, when I look back, I could say, oh, what an idiot. I was afraid of spiders. But that's not loving. At the time I created that belief, I believed I needed to have this fear to keep myself safe. So I want you to look back and laugh with relief that, hey, look how far I've come. I don't need to be afraid of spiders anymore. I have introduced this new spirit of freedom into my life. I'm so proud of myself. Isn't it amazing how far I've been able to come? Aren't you the most incredible being in the world for taking that step, for having the courage to agree to have someone help you with your irrational fear of spiders? Because if you'd done nothing, and that was one of the choices that you had, you have free will. You could have chosen to do nothing, and if you'd done nothing, you'd still be locked away in that closet of limiting beliefs. Fear would be holding the key, and you would be its prisoner. I spent many, many, many years imprisoned by fear. I didn't know that my way out was to love myself. So I was very harsh, very critical, very self-critical, very kind and loving to others to the extent that I could be, but very cruel to myself, believing that in some way that was going to make me become this better person that I wanted to be. I didn't know that love was the key. Love would be my way out. But just like everyone else, I had finally had enough. I had failed enough times. I was so discouraged, so tired of being me. I had finally had enough. And when you're brave enough to look at what you're allowing in your life and make conscious choices about what is acceptable, then you, just like I did, will become a powerful creator in your own life. So instead of creating by default and believing that, wow, other people just must be better at this manifesting or creating than I am, instead of creating by default from your fear programming, you'll begin creating all that you do want from love. You will love yourself so much that you automatically will make decisions and make choices out of love instead of fear. And the more you practice holding yourself in that high vibrational resonance of unconditional love, the more free you'll become. And you will begin developing those habits of greatness that will truly serve you. And those habits that you had that really weren't serving you, that were keeping you small, that were preventing you from shining, they're just going to drop away. All of those things that you thought you needed to really keep an eagle eye on to correct, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to say, you know what, I'm not even doing that anymore. That thing that I hated so much about myself that I was just like, oh, I can't believe I did that. What was I thinking? It won't be there anymore. Because you love yourself so much, you're going to allow yourself to engage in all of those things that are uplifting, and that which is not serving your highest good will simply fade away. Toxic relationships will dissolve. Remember that story about my relationship with Mary? Mary will disappear from my life. I won't need to get in a big fight with Mary. I won't need to block her, or she'll simply fade away. Because I'm loving myself so much, I'm not available at that low vibration of self-pity. And Mary will be receiving nothing from the relationship until she decides to vibrate higher. And if she chooses not to, she'll simply fade away. And now, something even more magical will begin happening, and that is space will begin opening for healthy interactions to take their place. So Mary, that was sucking me dry, will be replaced by other relationships, other people, and situations that understand that there is more than enough for all. And they will come bearing gifts that I, in my new place of love, joy, and peace, will be open to receiving. And I will be sharing gifts with them as well. But we do have to remember, we must give permission in order for fear to be transformed in your life, in order to receive that beautiful gift of unconditional love from the divine. You've got to give permission. It's not going to happen to you. It will happen with your permission. You have free will. You can choose to have unhappy things happen in your life, or you can choose to have the most magnificent life ever. But it does require you taking advantage of the fact that you are the most powerful creator in your life and you have free will. So you've got to stand up and say, I want this. I want my life to be filled with wonderful gifts. Your free will allows you to transform and fly high, or stay stuck and wither. But no matter what you choose, it is important that you understand no one is doing anything to you. You are choosing this with your thoughts and the way that you are feeling. If it's just a passing thought, it's no big deal. But the minute you attach to it emotionally, it becomes gas in your engine for manifestation. You're always in control of what's happening in your life, but you've got to be present. You've got to be paying attention. You've got to clear out those dark closets, those shadows. Call them out into the beautiful luminescence of unconditional love and say, gosh, what was I thinking? You're not scary. I can allow you to be transformed. I love myself so much that I'm going to let go of this judgment, this criticism, this feeling bad, this shame, and this blame. And I'm going to bathe in unconditional love. I'm going to wrap myself up in a blanket of pink and gold light, and I'm going to drink in the beauty that surrounds me. I'm going to attract to myself relationships, situations, and circumstances that feel good. I'm saying yes to abundance, which is my birthright. I am claiming it, and I am letting go of the dark aspects of myself. I am transforming them with love. Please don't allow the subconscious mind to decide for you. Remember, the heart rules the subconscious. So if your heart is still filled with deep shadows of shame and regret or blame or criticism, when you go offline, when your subconscious takes over for you, you're going to be replaying those moments of pain. That's what the subconscious knows, and that's what the heart is filled with, and that's what it's feeding to the subconscious, and that's what's going to play in your mind. And then if you're not paying attention, if you're not present focused, you're going to attach emotionally, and before you realize it, you're going to be feeling badly about something you may have said or done or your circumstances. And you're just creating a magnetic attraction of more bad to focus on. Get into the heart. Fill yourself with love. Sweep out that darkness. Actually, reverse the order. Get into the heart. Sweep out the darkness. Fill yourself with love. And attract to yourself more loving things to be joyous about. If you need help, remember that I offer a 30-minute consultation that will go out to the first 3 listeners that respond. 30 minutes of my time when I am listening to you and helping you uncover what obstacle may be standing in your way, helping you to figure out what it is that you would like in your life, what you do want and what you don't want. It's an extremely valuable exercise that I'm going to be doing with you. Honor yourself enough to reach out and get help if you feel that you need it. If you can do it on your own, do so. Say yes to love. If you need help, reach out. Marcia Martin, thehearthealer.com. Marcia, spelled Marcia. Go to my website. There are so many free resources there for you. If you feel that you are unable to make an investment at this time, but if you can invest in yourself, do it. I did. It was the best thing I ever did for myself. Love yourself so much that you will at least invest the time to learn about the spiritual path, to learn how to connect with your guides, to learn how to release yourself from the prison of fear. You are so incredibly beautiful and so loved by the divine. There is help waiting for you every minute of every day. You are never alone, and you can never do anything that is so terrible that you can step into the no longer loved category. You will always be loved. You may not be loving yourself, but you are always being loved by the divine. And now, I'm sending you love. Until next Sunday.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. The views expressed by hosts, co-hosts, callers, guests and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart Radio.